comment box. Now we will move on to the lesson. Now read about a lady who gets an unusual pet. Now we are going to see a lady who gets unusual pet. Mrs. Melody had no children, no friends, no cat, no dog, no parrot. Mrs. Melody lived alone in her house. When people said good morning to her, she scolded. When the postman brought her letters, she opened the door the smallest crack to take them in and banged it shut again. So scowled means frowned, looked angrily. Banged means closed suddenly and loudly. All day long she cleaned her house, wiped the windows, polished the furniture and scrubbed the sink. Nobody ever came to see it. Underneath her sink there lived a little mouse. He was lonely too. Lonely means alone, like Mrs. Melody, alone. He did no harm in the house. He didn't eat the cheese. He didn't make holes in the woodwork. He didn't leave dirty paw marks on the shelves. He found all his food out of doors in the lonely garden and only came indoors to get some company. So lonely, the garden also lonely. Lonely means alone. So the mouse will come indoors to get some company. Company means some work. But Mrs. Melody didn't like mice. When she caught a sight of him, she yelled as a tiger had come into the kitchen. So yell means a shouted as if a tiger came into the kitchen. This was enough to frighten the mouse away. But the mouse did not stay away for long because he was so lonely. So he came back to Mrs. Melody and lived under the sink and tried to keep out of her way. One day Mrs. Melody spent the morning dusting everything in the house. Afterwards, she washed the dusters and hung them out side by side to dry on the clothesline in the garden. So clothesline means the clothes will hang on the clothesline. So then she emptied out the soapy water, but dropped the soap down. When she bent to pick it up, she spilled on and fell on the kitchen floor. The mouse was scared to find Mrs. Melody lying on the floor with her eyes shut. He ran around her. He even tickled her chin with his sharp little nose. But nothing would wake her up. When Mrs. Melody did wake up, she found she could not move. Oh, little mouse, if only you were able to help him, Mrs. Melody said. She is pointing Mrs. Melody. If you were a cat, you could fetch the neighbors. Fetch means shouting like meow. And if you were a dog, you could bark and howl till somebody came. If you were a parrot, you can shout, help, help. But I don't think a mouse can do anything at all. Oh, but I really wish you could do something. Mrs. Melody had broken her leg. Everyone was kind to her, and the neighbors brought her sweets and fruits and flowers. Mrs. Melody began to smile. one slide is missing. So the mouse was not do nothing able to, but the Mrs. Melody put the clothes put the dusters in the clothes line, right? So the mouse go through the clothes line and with his sharp teeth he designed like help in the dusters. So the neighbors saw the help in the dusters design. So they came to Mrs. Melody's house. So Mrs. Melody had broken to her leg. So everyone they call ambulance and take her to the hospital. So everyone was kind to her, and the neighbors brought her sweets and fruits and flowers. Mrs. Melody began to smile when she saw them coming, and she also smiled at the nurses and the doctor. And even at the patients, she became quite a popular old lady in the ward. Ward means cloud five. But what we cannot understand is how you ever hang that message on the clothesline when your leg was broken, the neighbor said. If we hadn't seen it, you might be lying there now. What message? Asked Mrs. Melody. They brought her dusters and laid them out on her bed. Help, she read. I believe it was my mouse, said Mrs. Melody. Then Mrs. Melody came home. People came visiting the house. Mrs. Melody introduced all of them to the mouse. He felt a little shy now. There was so much unexpected attention, but when the visitors had gone away, the mouse and Mrs. Melody were sitting together in the kitchen. He crept out from under the sink. He was on cloud nine when he heard her telling him that he was the cleverest mouse in the world, and she meant to keep the dusters forever to prove it. So the story was researched by Ursula Moray Williams. This is the name of the author. So now we will see of the author. So U.S. Muslim Worms was born in 19 April 1911 and died in 17 October 2006. Was an English author of books for young children. A genius at 9, when she started writing, Williams published about 70 books over 70 years. She had a strong love of nature and animals, and her books talked about heroic creatures facing the chaos of the world. Her notable works include Jane Pierce's Adventures of Little Wooden Horse, Globeline, The Witch's Cat, and The Good Little Christmas Tree. So these are the stories. Some stories. The poetry the reciter. So the poetry was recite about 70 books over 70 years. Thank you for watching this video. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button. If you didn't like this video, please hit the dislike button. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, post them in the YouTube comment box. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button. If you didn't like this video, please hit the dislike button. Thank you.